showtime! Woo! 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 Silent and profiling. Woo! It's live and in color. Woo!
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report on the Buffalo Fan Base Network. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313. And by my side is my main man, my toucan Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, buddy? Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday, man. It was a short weekend. I don't know. It flew by for me. I don't know about you, but man, my weekend went just like, now here we are, Monday.
It did. It went right real quick. We were texting this weekend, and I had a daddy-daughter date with my daughter. She's 13 now, so I'm not gonna have many more of those. I got to get them all in while I can, because pretty soon she ain't gonna want to hang out with her dad. But I took her out to lunch, and then we went shopping. Not the most fun for me, but I enjoyed the family time. But man, it went by real quick.
Awesome, man. No, I totally understand that, man. Because yeah, eventually they want you to drop them off down the street from school or whatever. They want nothing to do with you. My buddy Jan Sports Jarek in the house. And by the way, guys, he's now part of the Buffalo fan base. He's been for I think about a month now. I want to say, or 3 weeks. Check his show out. I believe that's tomorrow. I want to say at 8 or 9. But yeah, it's a great show, man. They basically cover every kind of sport, man. Basketball, Buffalo Bills. So check that out, man. Yeah, man. Big plans coming. We are not ready to announce it just yet. We were going to do it today. So guys, that's been delayed. It should be this week though. So just be on the lookout for that on Twitter, on Mafia Sports Report, on Buffalo Fan Base as well. You should see that trailer sometime this week. And then that will tell you everything you need to know about what's coming up in the next 2 weeks. What's going on, James, man? Glad to have you in the house, man. So let's get to some NFL news real quick. It's not a lot. Dan Spano is being sued by his sister. Trying to take ownership of the Chargers. I know it's a little bit of a sticky situation going on there in LA. So, hey, I'm just glad that's not my team. Like I'll
tell you, Tommy,
inside issues.
This isn't new. She's been going after Dean for a few years now, and every time she does, she gets shot down. So now this is the latest one. There is multiple Stanos siblings that run the Chargers. Dean is the one that actually does the day-to-day stuff. She's the one that has kind of had the fallout, from what I understand, with all the others, and she's the one that's trying to get, because she came out a couple years ago and said he was broke, he didn't have the money,
right? Yeah, that's what I'm
hearing, to run them and like all kinds of stuff, So
interesting.
It's a family squabble, man. It's the reason why the Broncos just were sold, is because the Pat Bowlen Trust, that they couldn't decide on who was going to be the principal owner and the one that's going to run day to day, so they had to sell it.
Like I said, Mikey, just glad it ain't here in Buffalo.
$4.65 billion.
Yeah, we actually talked about that on my Friday night show. $4.65 billion. It was I believe one of the sons of Walmart.
The daughters. Yeah. It's the daughter and son-in-law. So it's one of the owners of Walmart, and he's purchased it with his daughter and son-in-law, who are going to be running it. Rob Walton.
And I know they're trying to bring in Manning, which probably will happen as a consultant. So that's hey, why not, man? I like Peyton Manning, man. That's one quarterback that wasn't Buffalo Bills that, I just like him. I don't know. He's a little goofy,
he changed the game. His mind changed the game. Like Jim Kelly ran the K gun, which is a lot like what Manning did, but Manning became an offensive coordinator on the field, and it just changed how everything was done.
And what's the famous words that everyone says now in
Omaha?
Omaha. Yes. Forever be stamped right? Like he
Yep.
left that like that
That
will never
legacy.
probably go away. Yeah,
No, Josh yells it. Josh yells it.
I know.
and
They all yell it. They all yell it. That's wild, man. And then obviously, oh no, and then Lamar Jackson, he returned to OTA.
Yep.
So he's back in OTAs. So I know he's going through that little contract situation there as well. And then,
but
Buffalo
hold on,
Bills news.
before we get to that,
Yeah, go ahead.
Lamar Jackson, it's not just a contract situation. He's upset with the front office because they traded his receivers and they haven't gotten him better receivers, and he wants to see what they're doing because the front office and the management team's ready to pay the guy. He's just not ready because they haven't, gone out and got him the weapons. Like you look at what they did with Josh Allen. You look what they did with Justin Herbert. You look what they just went and did in Philly for, Jalen Hurts. And you look around, like all these young quarterbacks. Joe Burrow has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Boyd. And who does Lamar Jackson have?
Yeah, they got rid of his basically his best receiver, I guess you could say, even though his best receiver is his tight end.
Yeah.
Right. Since he's been
But they've been trying to get him receivers, and every time they get him one, they trade him away or he leaves. Like, there's got to be something going on there.
Yeah. I'd be mad if I were him for sure. Like I'd be like, hey, I need some kind of help here, but who knows?
Well, if you think about it, what everyone talks about is, he's super dynamic and he can run, but, he wants to prove that he's a passing quarterback too. And hard to prove you're a passing quarterback when you don't got any weapons.
Yeah. Listen, I know the feeling. 2018, right? We all know the feeling of no weapons. Like, so I get that. I totally understand the argument. And until he gets receivers there, then I guess like people can debate that if if he's a passing quarterback or not, like if that's his weakness. I mean, from what I've seen, I he's pretty good. Like he's not I don't think he's the best out there, right? Like he's struggling here and there, but
he's not a pocket guy, but he can throw the ball.
Yeah. But it's gonna boil down to they're gonna pay him, right? And then does he want to stay? Does he want to stay for the money but get no help at the same time? Like because Aaron Rodgers kind of did that, right? Like he signed a contract, but he lost his best receiver, and they didn't even give him any help, and he's not complaining because he more than likely just wanted the contract, and he knows his days are coming soon, and right. I mean, I kind of feel like that's what he did, but I could be wrong. I'm not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think it came down to
just odd.
Davante Adams wanted out. I was listening to Pat McAfee, and he was talking about it. And he's like, Davante talked to Aaron, figured out how much time he had left, made the decision it's time to move on because Aaron's only going to be around for a year or two more probably before he bounces out. He's not going to play like Tom Brady till he's 45. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to. He has other interests.
Yeah. Yep.
Tom Brady has broke the mold on a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys that are 38, 39 walk away.
Yeah.
But then 100%. Tom Brady's here's 45, still playing, at a high level.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he is. That he is. I don't know how, but he is.
Takes care of his body.
He does. Listen, you got to give him credit. I mean, I despise the guy because he ruined us. But even if Tom Brady, like hypothetically, because I think about that sometimes, because I always think like Bills fans, we hate Tom Brady and all that. But we were so bad, even if like they weren't legit. Let's say Tom Brady never existed, we would still be a sorry ass team for all those years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really? Like, what have we have done?
It was the team in our division. The reason why we hate him so much, it was the team in our division that we had to listen to that to loads and loads of generations of fans that have come in that didn't know anything other than Tom Brady winning Super Bowls. And they just talk and talk and talk and talk.
I get it. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like Dolphin fans could say the same thing about like Jim Kelly, right? About that era, because they were a good team.
Yeah, but they were a good team for like 7 years.
No, but I mean, that's 20. The big difference. We were I know that, but we were never in contention while Brady was right.
Well, we had a couple years. The Bledsoe year. Should have been.
We were 8-8. We were. I'm saying,
and like, without the Patriots, we would have been 10-6.
quite possible. Right? They'll be lost to the Jets, you know. I don't know.
Anyways,
I just think we're just a bad team. Either way.
Yeah.
Today, the Bills signed Greg Van Rotten. You know what's funny thinking about that name? Because I was watching the Johnny Depp trial, and he kept saying Rottenberg, like the lawyer. And I just, first thing I thought, I was like, Rotten, what a terrible name. But sounds like a wrestler name, kind of. But you know anything about Greg Van Rotten?
I do, and we'll dig some more into him because I added him to our list.
Okay,
as we're doing the trenches tonight. But he was a part-time player for the Jets. He played he started between about 10 and 13 games a year. So he does have he's a guy who does have injury history. But he's a decent depth guy. He's a camp body right now, fighting some of our guys. We'll go through all of his numbers when we get into our breakdown.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with getting depth at the offensive line position. Nothing wrong, guys. So
especially interior.
It may not be like oh my God signing, but these players, offensive line, are tough to get, guys. Like they just are. So if you have a chance to get a decent one, even if he's a rotational guy or just a guy that come in and put some work in, why not? Because we've been down this alley before where we got a player hurt and then we're running around for trying to find like Bobby Hart again. You know what I mean? Like, do we really want the? So I'm just saying. Also, Jordan Poyer is back at OTAs. Mandatory OTAs. So he didn't report to the ones that weren't mandatory, which is fine. A lot of players do that. And the big news was, will he, right? Will he be back? And he already answered that question. Yes. So that's a good sign that there's possibility that he's not going to do a holdout, right? He's not that kind of player. It seems like so far, at least. And that maybe that there is a good communication between Bean and Poyer, you know, that they'll get something done.
And there is no communication between Bean and Poyer directly.
No, his
Bean
agent.
said that it's his agent. However, you have to remember the new the new CBA fines these guys heavily if they choose not to show up. You know,
I get
so
it.
if they try to hold out. So if he wants money, it doesn't behoove him to hold out. You know, if he comes into camp, he might come into camp and do walkthroughs, but he's not going to really do much.
It's only a week, though. I think it's only 1 week.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's like 4 days.
Right, and then that's it.
Like, runs tomorrow through like Thursday or Friday, and they usually and Bean McDermott and Bean usually end it like a day early.
Right, and they don't even come back to like July, like mid-July.
But they're calling them now hold-ins for those that want the contract. So they show up, but they don't do anything. They do stretching and stuff.
It'll be interesting, like when reporters ask them questions, because you know they're going to, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious how, you know, he answers those questions, if he avoids them, if he, you know, it'll be good to hear something, you know, is rolling at least between the agent and Bean. But we'll see. We shall see. Guys, real quick tonight, I do want to give doing a card giveaway tonight. If you guys are still watching, so doing a Devin Singletary. I don't know if you guys can see that. Probably not.
That way you can.
So it's a jersey patch auto. All right. Jumbo card. It's really, really nice, man. I just have I collect cards, guys, so I have a whole bunch. And then I got a Gabe Davis mosaic rookie card. I have many of these, so pretty cool cards. Listen, they're not worth hundreds, but they're pretty damn cool. And what we're going to do is we're going to spin a wheel. We'll put your guys' names in it, whoever's in the chat. If you guys are interested, just stick around and we'll do it towards the end of the show. And obviously I'll ship it for free and all that good stuff. So, all right. Tonight, Mikey, we are not day 2, but we are round 2 of the position breakdown. And we are doing offensive line and defensive line tonight. So I'm going to let you go ahead and start that up.
Let me share my screen. Get that all ready to go. Here we go. And then let's go ahead and run.
And let them know what we're doing next week too. So it's round 3, which is the final round. Next Monday.
Yeah, and then next week we'll look at linebackers, secondary, and specialists.
There you go.
Okay. So this week is the trench warfare. We're looking at offensive, defensive lines. So we'll kick it off with our offensive tackles.
Right.
I have our 4 main offensive tackles, and then I have our bubble guys, which really are probably more of the practice squad guys. So we have Dion Dawkins. So I looked at Jack comes in and asks, is Bates starting? I believe he is slotted. I mean, obviously, it's all about competition and preseason and training camp, but I think going in, he's the incumbent. When we look at Dion Dawkins, 2021, he had 1,089 snaps. He had 9 penalties, 4 sacks, allowed 6 QB hits, and 25 total pressures, which is actually better than his 2020 stats. His pressures went down by 8. He did allow 2 more QB hits, but you have to remember he had COVID early in the year, so he got stronger as the season went. But he allowed 2 less sacks last year than he did, but in playing more snaps. So, seeing Dion Dawkins step up and make the Pro Bowl, have a Pro Bowl season, those type of things, it was nice. He's our starting left tackle. He's our franchise left tackle.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, and I agree, Mike. The trenches are the backbone. You don't win if you lose the trenches.
100%.
Defense.
100%. 100%.
Yep.
I don't care who you got back there. If you got a crappy offensive line, that quarterback is going to have no time. And like I said, once again, doesn't matter who you got back there if they are getting rid of the ball in like 2 seconds because the defense is on them.
Look at the Jacksonville game. The offensive line played like crap, and Josh
was
getting smashed.
You saw how that worked, right? And then all they did was just blitz.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh was running for his life, making bad decisions because he had no other choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to protect. Same with the defensive line too, by the way. But go ahead.
Yeah. So on the right side, we have Spencer Brown, who's our incumbent right tackle. Last year he played 726 snaps. He missed the first 3 games, right? He missed the first 3 games of the year, I think.
I believe so.
3 or 4.
Like a back thing.
No, he wasn't starting the first 3 or 4.
No, I know, but then he had like a back. I know.
Yeah, then I think he missed 4 games last year.
All right.
So he had 726 snaps. He had 8 penalties, allowed only 1 sack, 5 QB hits, and 30 total pressures. So he actually allowed more pressures. He had an up and down year last year.
He did, but
that saw the
third round. Yeah,
you saw the flashes of that dominant right tackle that he can be, which is awesome. Then one of our new guys, we have David Questenberry, comes over. He was a starting right tackle for the Titans last year. He played 1,184 snaps. He only had 2 penalties. He allowed 11 sacks, but let's be honest, Tannehill's kind of a statue back there, and they had no run game. They had no Derrick Henry, so they were.
No, he's solid. I like him. That was a very good that was a under the radar kind of pickup, I think, for this team because he could potentially start. He could potentially start at right guard. I could be wrong, but Ryan Bates has to earn that. And this guy's been doing it for a while. I think Bates will still ultimately win that job, but it's still good to have this guy.
Questenberry played right tackles. These were all
but he could switch over to guard as well.
Yeah,
or he also could take Spencer Brown could also, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's up to debate him going at right guard right now. I know he's at tackle, but he can go Questenberry, but he can go to right guard as well.
Yeah, we have and we'll get into the guards. We have a deep class of guards this year, and we'll get into it. I have a feeling Questenberry is going to be our swing tackle.
I do too. I do too. I think I believe that. I think Ryan Bates will get that right guard spot. I don't think
Questenberry's even in the hunt for the right guard starting position. I think they brought him in to be the right tackle, and because we have a lot of interior guards that are vying for that spot.
My buddy Curtis from Ace Burhead, he believes that he has an opportunity to go to right guard, with Bates not having like a lot of history behind, he more of a journeyman up until he got here. in a way, like just not around a long time. But I don't know. We'll see. I agree with you. I think he's more of a swing tackle, and I think Brian Bates will get that job.
Yeah, and we'll get into the whole guards centers next. But then we have Tommy Doyle, who only played 65 snaps, most of them at tight end. Had one penalty, one sack allowed. I think he had eight snaps at tackle only, and the rest of them were at tight end.
I agree.
So he had one penalty, one sack, one total pressure. And then when we look over at the bubble guys, we have the people like Bobby Hart, Luke Tenuta, Alec Anderson.
Tenuta, he won't make the team.
Alec Anderson, the rookie UDFA out of UCLA. Derek Kersetter, the rookie UDFA out of Texas. And then Tanner Owen, the rookie UDFA out of Northwest Missouri State. So we got a bunch of young UDFAs and then Bobby Hart.
What do you think about this? What do you think about this question, real quick, Carl? I already answered that like 3 weeks ago, but
not going to happen. Not going to happen.
I think it's very possible, Carl. This is the first time, and I'm normally not like this, where I homerish prediction that we're winning it all. But looking at the schedule, this is the first time I can truthfully say there isn't a game there I see that the Bills can't win. So I'm going to be optimistic and say, sure, why not? New England came very close, by the way. Probably should have gone right 19-0 at the time because there was no extra game or whatever. But they should have beat the Patriots, right? They were the better
Giants,
team.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, the Giants. They should have beat the
Eli
Giants.
Just had Brady's number.
It was just one of those things. But look how close that was. So why not? Will it happen? I mean, the chances are it's tough. This is the NFL. You can lose any given Sunday, right? That's what they say. But I don't know. I'm going to say we're going undefeated because right now that's what I'm picking, which is the first time ever. So, yeah, Carl,
yeah,
I think it can.
I don't see it. Not that I wouldn't love it, and I hope we do, and I hope I'm wrong, and I'll eat it if I'm wrong. But, yeah, I don't see us going undefeated. So for the roster bubbles, Daniel Gardy comes in and says Tenuta is a practice squad contender. I think so. I think Tenuta is going to be practice squad, and I think one of the other three UDFAs is going to be fighting Bobby Hart for a practice squad.
I don't think Tenuta, man. I know they draft. I know I think Daniel coming in saying practice squad. I mean, maybe, I guess, practice squad, sure. Yeah. I mean, they did draft him, right?
Yep.
But his chances of being called up this year are like slim to none, in my opinion. He has a lot of, for a big guy. I know your first thought is, oh my God, he's Spencer Brownish. He has these long arms, and he actually has very short arms for T-Rex his size. Yeah, he's a T-Rex guy, which is not generally good for that position. But maybe they can work with him, and maybe in the practice squad, if that's what they do, which he probably will make it. Maybe they can find a way for him. Maybe he improves. I don't know. But right now, he's not coming up. I can tell you right now.
No, he like we said, it's just a practice squad guy.
Yeah,
he's stashed much like Anderson was last year before he was plucked off our practice squad. It's a late round guy we drafted. He'll be on the practice squad, and he'll probably be either Bobby Hart or, unless they like one of the other three UDFAs. But we'll have two tackles on practice squad. We'll have these four tackles in our rotation.
Yeah.
Doyle, I have a feeling is going to be. I know he's being tried out at guard as well.
He is,
but that's what Aaron Cromer does. He wants all the guys on the offensive line be able to move around.
Correct. So the Doyle
I see him more of a tight is the big tight end than I do actually playing on the line this year.
Yeah, but out of camp early. Now, mind you, Mikey, there's no pads, no nothing right now, right? We can't. Let's not get too hype about
it's all technique right now.
Right, who's playing reports out of camp, because I heard that a million times. But I mean, the early reports is they were playing him at the left guard because Saffold wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Reporting to OTAs at the time, and he was actually looking pretty well. But once again, no pads are on. Let's wait and see when pads come on. But I know they say Cromer he loves doing this. He wants to see what, certain players can do at certain positions. And they're probably just testing the waters out, what he can do, because you never know.
Well, what he does is Cromer believes in teaching. So if a tackle goes in and plays guard, he understands what that guard is doing on that play. So when he moves back out to tackle, he understands what the guy next to him is supposed to be doing and the technique he's supposed to be using to help him understand how he plays off of that guy. So he's a technician by trade. Cromer. That's what we love about bringing him back, and everyone who plays for him loves him because they're like he's a teacher, and it's not just my starters. I'm teaching down to the last guy on the roster.
Yep.
So,
yeah, man, and that's a great addition, by the way, is Cromer to this offensive line. So not only did we get the veterans and Saffold and Quisenberry, but we got one of the best OL coaches. To help these younger guys out as well with the vets coming in. So, even though these are 1-year deals, it still works out for us because they're helping the younger guys out, the guys that, like you said, the guys that draft picks. Mm-hmm. And next year, I think we will draft a little heavier at the offensive line since a lot of these guys are one and dones.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, if you look here, Dawkins, Brown, and Doyle are all guys who have contracts next year. Or for the next couple years.
Right, exactly.
Yep. Tenuta and then a couple other guys who were UDFA, so they have contracts too.
Yeah.
But I from a tackle standpoint, I think the plan is to have Quisenberry as the swing tackle this year, use Doyle as the backup swing tackle, and big tight end like they did last year, and then hopefully Doyle will grow this year into the swing tackle next year.
Yeah, I agree. And Doyle, like I said, Doyle's looking good so far out of camp, though I want to see it on the field.
Technician. It's all technique right now. His technique good. We'll see what he does once packs come on.
Yep.
Okay. Of your setup, Tommy, how do you see it playing out with these guys, and then who do you see going to the practice squad?
That's a tough one, man. I think all these. I don't think any of these guys. Obviously not Dawkins. Obviously not Brown. I think Quisenberry makes it. I don't think he goes. I don't think he goes to the practice squad. I think Doyle. I think they would be nervous to sending him to practice squad if somebody picks him up. So I don't even think he would go to the practice squad. That's where I have it right there. I think obviously Bobby Hart, Tenuta, all those are practice squad guys. I don't think Bobby Hart makes a team. I think he gets cut again, and who knows? Then maybe they pick him up later in the year like they did last year. But Tenuta, to your point, he's a draft pick. They'll probably keep him around. The other guys, I honestly don't know much about, so I'm not going to really comment. They could be cut candidates, but that's where I'm looking at right now. For this lineup or for the breakdown.
My guess is ultimately we'll have these 4 guys on the 53, and then I have a feeling Tenuta and I have a Alec Anderson. I have a feeling is going to turn some heads out of UCLA, and he's going to be a guy that they want to keep on the 53, or not on the 53, but on the practice squad.
Right. Carl coming in real quick with a question.
Yeah.
Says, will Josh Allen have a better connection with Ken Dorsey than he did with Brian Dable? After all, Ken is Josh's pick for OC. He fought for him, and this may be more dynamic offense than it was. I'll let you answer that question because you know what mine's going to be.
Do I think he's going to have a better connection? No. I think his connection with Brian Daboll was extremely close. Do I think the offense will be better with Dorsey over Daboll? Yes. I didn't understand some of Daboll's schemes and game plans to where Dorsey now has Cromer, who is a run game coordinator, former offensive coordinator, has Mike Shula in the room, former offensive coordinator, as Joe Brady is the quarterback coach, former offensive coordinator. So there's going to be more ideas in that room. It's not just going to be, I know Dorsey was the passing game coordinator last year, but I have a feeling that the connection, like play calls, might be better than it was with Daboll. Because Daboll got stuck in his ways. Let's be honest. He got very bullheaded about. There was times we didn't run the ball, but like one time in the half. That won't happen with this new coaching staff.
No, will not happen.
So do I think the offense will be better under Dorsey? Yes, I do. I love the new coaches we brought in. It brought in more experience and new philosophies and ideas, which is going to help our offense grow. Under Dayball, it was the same thing for 3 years. We didn't really see it evolve. It will evolve this year.
As far as better connection, I'll tell you what. Dable got here, I believe, in 2018. I want to say, Josh's rookie year, and Dorsey got there in 2019. So that it's not like Dorsey got there in 2021, right? So who knows? Like behind the door, we maybe Dorsey and Allen really did have a better connection. We just don't know. But Allen did preach for him to be the OC.
Yeah.
And right. So it wasn't like he was like, hey, it's up to the coaches. I'm staying out of it. Like he came forward and said, I would really prefer Dorsey. So I truly believe he understands that when Dorsey came into 2019, he made him better. He worked with Josh. And who was closer to Josh than your quarterback coach, right? Like working with him every day. I know Dable was as well, but I think Dorsey and Allen probably had maybe a little bit more connection than we think because of the quarterback thing, right? He's a former quarterback. He understands Josh. Josh probably understands him a little bit more. He worked with them probably a little bit extra. So I don't know. That is, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. But I do think, to Mike's point, the offense, I think, is going to be ran much smoother, much better. You're going to see the running attack a lot cleaner than it was in the past. Now that we got Cromer, now that we got Joe Brady, now that we got Mike Shula, I think those guys are going to, get this line going to protect Josh a little bit better, to open those holes up for the running backs. And listen, Ken Dorsey is a bright dude. So if you guys think that we're going to lose like the magic touch on the offense all of a sudden because Dable was his genius, Dorsey's a very smart guy too, and he's going to light it up as well on offense. So I think the offense will improve, and you're going to see it. You would definitely see it.
I'm with you on that. How you doing, Scott? Welcome to the show.
Scott?
Thanks for joining us. Okay, so let's dig into the guards and the interior offensive line. This is where we really had a lot of problems last year. So we brought in Roger Saffold. Last year, he had 853 snaps. He had 5 penalties, 2 sacks allowed, 7 hits, and 26 pressures. He plays about the same amount. He has a shoulder injury that seems to pop up every year. But we have a lot of depth this year, so it's okay.
Yeah.
In 2020, he had 872 with 4 penalties, 4 sacks allowed, 5 QB hits, and 18 pressures. So he actually allowed less sacks last year, but more pressures. But they also threw the ball a little bit more once Derrick Henry got hurt last year. So you're going to see the pressures go up.
Thing about Saffold, though, real quick, even though he gets hurt, he tends to come back. Yeah, he tends to come back right away. So he's like one of those just like Iron Man tough guy. Like he's a tough dude. He is a tough guy. So I wouldn't don't stress the whole injury history, guys. He's gonna probably play hurt in some games. It's just the way his career's shaped out. But he's always there. So I'm good with that. Just play, do your job, and I'm good because when he does his job, he's one of the best on the field to do it. So. Go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading Scott's comments.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll put it up.
Scott comes in and says, he's figured it out. 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 114 passer rated. He's going to be the league MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and we're going to go 20-0. I'll tell you,
interceptions is really low.
If he only throws for 4,000 yards, I'll be a little concerned. If he wins the MVP with 4,000 yards.
I agree with Mikey in that. I mean, the interceptions is awesome if you keep down to 4, but that's really tough. I think I'm going more towards what Jack said earlier about the 5,000.
Yeah.
Listen, it's very possible. And me and Mikey talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago. My buddy Curtis put out a thing about the yards after catch. He was one of the, I think, 17th ranked.
Yep.
If he was even in the top 5, I think he said something like that. He would have had over 5,000 yards.
If he was in top 10.
Top 10. He would have over 5,000 yards passing. So that's last year. So I think with the additions that we got with Crowder, who's I believe a better yards after catch, and I think getting McKenzie more involved and stuff like that, and Diggs, I think he can get in that top 10 range. I think. Oh, and the addition of Cook, The addition of the offensive line with screen passes as well will help that yards after catch. And it's very possible. I think he does, Mikey, in my opinion. I think he gets the 5,000. The interceptions, listen, 4, that's really tough. I'm going to go around like the 8 to 10 range. And that's not bad because, sometimes Josh, he will do a bonehead play here and there because he's trying to make something happen. So 8 to 10, listen, guys, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'll take it all day. Go ahead,
Jason. Man. I love that. Double the weapons, double the yardage.
Yeah,
I love that.
Said 9,000 yards.
Jason, this is 9,000 yards. I will tell you another thing that we'll see this year, because if you go back and you watch Stephon Diggs last year, Stephon Diggs ran stops and goes like over and over and over. They didn't run him on yak type of routes. I bet you that changes this year. You're going to see him running more of the slants and the crossers and those type of things to give him the option for yards after the catch. If he just runs a 5-yard stop, he has to do amazing things to be able to get yards after the catch on that. Yep. Go back to look at what Diggs did in Minnesota. He ran a lot of those crossers and deep things where he can get the yards after the catch, and he was great at it. We just didn't put him in position to do that last year. I don't think the offense put the receivers in position to do that last year.
Yeah, no.
So we'll see a little bit of difference this year, which I'll like.
I believe.
Okay, so moving on, we have Rick Bates back. I think he's going to be our right tackle this year.
Yeah.
In 2021.
Right tackle.
Yeah. No, I mean right guard.
Right guard. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be right guard. He went from left guard last year. Yeah. He'll probably play right guard this year.
Yeah, they ain't putting what's his name out of the guard position.
Yeah,
they're gonna keep Roger at left.
Yeah, Saffold. That's where he plays the best is left, so he'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Bates had 294 snaps last year. I think it was like 5 games or 6 games or something like that. He had 1 sack allowed, 0 hits, or 0 sacks allowed, 3 hits allowed, and 3 total pressures. So in like 5 or 6 games, he only gave up 3 pressures. That's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, I know.
He had 1 penalty. And in 2020, he had 82 snaps. This is what goes back to what we talked about, Tommy. We didn't understand why he never got in. He had 82 snaps. He had 1 penalty, 0 sacks, 0 hits, 0 pressures. We brought in Doyle last year for 8 plays, and he gave up a sack and 3 pressures.
Yeah, I don't think Bakker was much better either, to be honest with you. It was Bakker
actually did, his numbers aren't that bad.
No, I didn't say. Yeah, he wasn't terrible, but Bates would have been the better choice, right?
I agree. I would think
we were yelling for that. By the way, you want to answer this real quick? Carl coming in with another.
Says it doesn't seem that he can get 4.9 yards carry. Last year we had a terrible offensive line, and he looked so much better once Ryan Bates solidified the line. Can he run for 1,000 yards? Absolutely, he's gonna run for 1,000 yards.
Yep.
We're gonna have because he was over 1,000 all-purpose yards last year. He's going to run for over 1,000 yards, but we're going to have 2 backs that have over 1,000 all-purpose yards this year.
With minimal usage, because if you look at his carries, they're really low compared to most starting running backs in the league.
Yeah.
I think he's like one of the fewest actually. Like he's really below as far as average carries.
I think he had less than 200 last year.
Oh carries. Yeah, he did. He had like 145, 148, something
I think he was like in the hires. I think he was like in
You gotta look. I'm curious. I know he didn't have many.
But when we finish this, I'll go back and look.
Yeah. Either way, yes. I think they started to use him more once Bates got in that game. And then you kind of saw like Josh trusting him more, and Dable kind of starting to trust the offensive line to do their job more and run blocking. And that's why you saw the carries go, much higher for Devin Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the last 6 games of the season, last 5 games.
The second Ryan Bates got inserted in the offensive line, it changed everything.
So I think on a contract year, you got to take that in consideration as well, guys. Contract year, offensive line better, different play caller. They're going to try to definitely get the running game going this year.
New running game coordinator.
Yeah, I definitely think he goes over 1,000 yards. I'm going to say he goes around. I'm going to say close to 1,200 yards. I'm going to go out on a wing and say close to 1,200, which is not impossible. And I think he'll have about 300 passing yards. I still don't think that'll be higher. I think James Cook might have that a little bit above him because that's what James Cook was drafted for, really. And I think that'll be his role this year. But I think around 1,200, around that range. I would say anywhere between 1,100 and 1,200 yards is where I think Devin Singletary will get, which will be a great year for him. Mm-hmm. And somebody will sign him if he does not sign back with Buffalo.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Singletary will have about 1,100 yards and probably about 200 receiving yards. So he'll end up with about 1,300 total yards. I think Cook will end up about probably 400 yards rushing and about between 500 and 600 yards receiving. So I think he's going to be close to cracking the 1,000-yard all-purpose yards as well. So I can see both of our backs going over 1K all-purpose this year,
which is really unbelievable. That's really really good.
Yeah. So then we'll dig into Mitch Morris, who's solidified as our center. We gave him an extension this offseason. He had a great year, really. He actually had a better year than Dawkins did, and Dawkins made the Pro Bowl. He had 1,167 snaps, 5 penalties, 2 sacks allowed, 2 QB hits allowed, and only 25 pressures.
Yeah.
So you look at Saffold. Saffold was a Pro Bowler with less snaps, more pressures, more hits allowed, same amount of sacks, and same amount of penalties with less snaps.
Yeah.
Like Morris is underrated now.
He is. Yeah. He's clear. The concussion thing is kind of almost seems like a little behind him now, I'm hoping. That was worrying me for quite a bit, to be honest with you. And that's why I thought he was maybe leaning towards retirement when all those were kind of piling up on him when we first got him. But it's kind of been not too much. I don't think he had any last year. I could be wrong. He didn't. Right. He's been healthy. He was
all 17 games plus playoffs last year.
There you go. Yeah. And he's an excellent pin and pull blocker. One of the best in the league, actually. So no, he's been good, but I still think we need to address the center position eventually in the draft because he is getting older.
I told you, I think Bates is going to be the future center. I think we're going to,
you may not be wrong there, Mikey. You may not be wrong.
I do believe Bates is the future center. He's going to play guard until Morris is done, and then he's going to slide into the pivot, and we're going to draft us another guard. It's easier to draft guards than it is centers.
Yeah, you may not be wrong. Like I said.
Yep. I think we were planning on having Bates be the center before we re-signed Mitch Morris, and that's why we didn't play him at guard earlier. Is because he was our backup center. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
I mean, I get that, but it was just at that time were really I don't know what they were doing.
We were screaming for him. We were screaming for him. So and then we go to everyone's hated offensive lineman, Cody Ford.
He's up there.
He had 485 snaps last year. He had 2 penalties, 2 sacks allowed, 4 hits, and he had 26 pressures. But of those 26 pressures, 11 was in one game. So he didn't have the horrible year everyone thought. He had a bad game against Washington and that really good D-line.
Yeah.
And that after that, he kind of got relegated to the bench. But up to that point, he wasn't playing horribly. But he had a bad game against the Commanders.
I mean, listen, Mikey, this will be it. Like if Cromer can't get Cody Ford, better, improved, then
it's a contract for Ford too.
Yeah. But then we know it is what it is, right, guys? Like after
it wasn't coaching, it was truly the player. Because at some point, you got to put the onus back on the player. I personally I don't think Bobby Johnson was good.
No, I don't.
He was an assistant offensive line coach who got his first shot as at the head gig with the Bills, and I don't think he did well, personally.
No, I agree with you. I think the Giants are going to see that, Giant fans, how this guy just. Like I said, I thought the name was cool. Other than that,
he's got a lot of young guys on the offensive line with the Giants.
Yeah,
that just aren't going to get.
I mean, if you really think about it, when he came, who did he honestly improve? Like guys that we drafted that you're like, all right, Like you got this guy like looking really good, or he helped this guy out, or a guy he did. I don't think he did anyone like
Bates and Brown are the two that stand out the most. But if you think about it, really, I put it on Bobby Johnson for the whole Wyatt Teller thing. You know,
that was terrible.
like
and Brandon Bean kind of basically said that, right?
Yeah,
like
I know that's what he said. He's like, I listened to my guys, and they told me he wasn't gonna pan out.
Name, but he said guys, which there's only two guys in charge, and they're both not on the team. So and he's never gonna do that again because he knows better. Like he's not trusting that again. Like he's gonna do his own homework, and he'll live with that decision. You know.
I think it goes back to the O-line coach. But anyways, Cody Ford, has been a bust at this point as a second-round pick.
Yeah.
Was it all Cody Ford's fault? No. They moved him around a bunch, never let him get settled. Then he had injuries, and he's been battling injuries the whole time he's been here. This is the first offseason he hasn't been rehabbing an injury, so he actually got to train. So we'll see what we get out of Cody Ford, if anything, in 2022. Then we had Ike Bacher. Bacher was a average starter for us. I mean, honestly, he was better than Ford. He filled in. I would much rather saw Bates earlier, but Bacher held his own for the most part.
Better than Mongo too.
He
took Mongo's
job. Yeah, right. 636 snaps. He had 2 penalties, 1 sack, 1 hit, and 17 total pressures in about 10 games. Ultimately, Bacher did okay. He did his job. Granted, when we talk about pressures, Josh Allen made a lot of these numbers look better because his ability to move and get out of the pocket to where guys got beat and they didn't get a pressure against them because Josh Allen was already gone. Let's call it what it is, And then we have Greg Mance, who's on the bubble. In 2021, he had 185 snaps, no penalties, 1 sack, 5 pressures. Then our new signee, Greg Van Rotten. He played for the Jets. He started between 10 and 13 games a year. 700 snaps last year, 2 penalties, 3 sacks allowed, 1 hit, 37 pressures. He is a average O lineman, great depth lineman.
Yep, that's all he is.
When I look here, I truly believe these 4 guys on the left will all be on the 53. I think Ike Bacher will end up on the PUP list because he's coming back from the Achilles, which I think the battle becomes between Mance and Van Rotten for a depth job.
Mm-hmm. You want to answer that question?
What was the question?
Right here.
Couldn't Ferguson fill in as center knowing he's a long snapper? No, he's actually more of a tight end than he is a lineman.
Right. He's not very right.
He's not a big guy.
Big.
He's not a very big guy. He's just like his brother, who actually they're considered tight ends than and longs than actual if they have to put him somewhere. But he's just a long snapper. So I foresee them. So that gives us what we had 4 tackles, and we have 5 guards, centers, interior O linemen. So I see us carrying 9.
Bacher's going to go on the PUP.
So we'll have
right away.
Saffold, Bates, Morris, and Ford will all be on the 53. So then it comes down to, does Mance win the backup job, or does Van Rotten win it?
That's a good question.
As the 9th guy.
That's going to be a training camp and preseason battle, really, because I think they're both kind of evenly matched in a way.
Van Rotten has more experience.
He does, and
Mance
McDermott likes that.
Yeah, but Mance can play center.
I agree, but we'll see. I have no idea. That's a tough one. They're going to be duking it out, man. Because once again, only so many players can make this.
Listen, we only have really 1 spot available on the O line because Cody Ford's going to make the team. He's a draft pick.
They're not done
draft
yet.
Pick. They brought in a new thing. Like Bean still talks him up. He's super talented, just hasn't put it together yet. So I see 1 spot on the O line, and it comes down to Mance or Van Rotten. And then obviously we have Jacob Capra, who was on the practice squad last year, who will probably be on the practice squad again this year.
Right.
Don't know much about him.
Yeah, neither do I. He's on there for a reason, though.
Yep. So who do you see?
Saffold, obviously. Ryan Bates obviously makes this. Mitch Morse obviously makes this. Cody Ford, to your point, he's a second-round pick that we actually traded up to get. They are not going to give up on him yet, especially as being his last season anyways. Ike Bacher is going to be on the pup list, like I said.
Yep.
And then it's going to come down to Graham Mentz and Van Rotten, who we just got. Listen.
If we get to the 9th guy, we're in trouble anyways. So
yeah, I still think that there's going to be a player or two that we wind up trading for something. I don't know about this list particularly, but you never know.
Could you see Cody Ford being on the block and then
it's possible.
And Van Rotten
it's very possible because maybe a team will be more willing to give up a draft pick, a 4th or 5th for a former second-round pick. Maybe they see like the potential on him.
If he comes out and has good preseason, someone's like, right, I could get something out of him.
Exactly. Rather than what can you get for, Van Rotten? You know what I mean? Maybe nothing. Maybe you cut him and go to practice squad, and then he gets picked up, right? So it's very possible. It's very possible. And Brandon Beane loves to do that. But like we said about Teller earlier, would he do that? Right? Is it too early? The problem with Teller was it was really, really early in the game.
It was year 2. Like year 2. He started the end of year 1, played decent, came in year 2, lost the job to Mongo.
Right.
And then they traded him.
Right. And Cody Ford's on what year now?
4.
Right. So, and it's a contract year. So do you get something for him? Or do you see the potential and maybe you're going to think we can resign him? You know what I'm saying? Because it's tricky. That's where it's tricky. I don't know, man. I tell you what, I want to hate it, depending on what they get for him, what round.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would take.
I love Jason's comment. He comes in and says, "Spray paint them, put spinners on them, then trade them, make them look shiny, then ship them off."
Why not? Put them right. Put them in all the second half games, like in the preseason.
And I agree with Daniel Garies. I think what we would get would probably be a 6th or 7th, most likely a 6th. I mean, if we can get a 6 for Mills,
right?
I have a feeling we can get a 6 for Cody Ford.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or Marshall Newhouse. I think we got a 6th one year.
We did.
Russell Bodine, we got a 6th one year. Like he's the magic man. He makes a way to.
The 6 isn't crazy. It's not unbelievable.
No, but it's a 6th round pick.
It is one you didn't have earlier. Something you could trade up to get. Use it as a trade.
Yeah, trade bait. So that covers our O line. When we look here, we'll probably have 9. I went through the 9 that I thought was going to make it. At the end of the day, this is probably the best O line that's been in front of Josh since he got drafted.
100%.
And then I love the fact that we have Aaron Cromer and Ken Dorsey in the room. Dorsey's super smart, young, innovative guy. And then Aaron Cromer is just a technician, teacher. And if these guys can't get better with Cromer, they're not going to get better. It's not going to be from the fact of the coaching. Because Cromer has a lineage of great O-linemen who, including one of them who came here because he was here, and Roger Saffold.
Yep, exactly.
So, all right, we're going to switch on over. We're going to talk some defense. Defense is run by Leslie Frazier. Our D-line coach is Eric Washington, former defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers. We will start with Von Miller. Von Miller, 2021, he had 710 snaps. He had 37 tackles, 9 sacks. He didn't have any forced fumbled, but he had 8 QB hits on 60 pressures. He did not play in 2020, so I had to go back to 2019.
Correct.
And he had 787 snaps. He had 37 tackles, 9 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 10 QB hits, and 58 pressures. His numbers are very similar from 19 to 21. It's just who he is.
Yeah.
He's and his run grade is like a 90 in PFF. Like he's a fantastic run defender.
Yep.
Gets close to double-digit sacks every year. Plus, he teaches and helps other guys get sacks because guys are running away from him. He's getting 9 sacks being double-teamed almost every time.
Hey, Bills fan, it's all right. We forgive you. We Mikey, do we forgive Bills fan?
Oh, absolutely. We appreciate you coming in.
Just want to make
We're
sure.
We're only halfway through. We're talking defense. Tommy will break this down later over on the Mafia Sports Report.
Yeah.
It up and you can go watch them in sections, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. He'll have it broken out in sections by position.
Yep.
To catch the replay.
100%.
Dallas, I agree. We need a big year from the O-line, but you know what? I think we need a bigger year from our D-line.
100%, man.
Like we have not gotten, we've put so many resources into our defensive line. We have not gotten the payout from it yet.
100%.
Von Miller is a big key. He's going to help our young guys. He's also going to bring attention. Like Ed Oliver no longer will be double teamed. It's going to probably go to Von Miller. So you're going to see Ed Oliver get better. You're going to see Greg Rousseau get better. Hopefully we'll see Epinesa and Boogie to take steps. If not, we know we have a solid DN in Lawson. He's not special, but he's solid. And we'll go through his numbers. So looking at Von Miller to finish capping him off, he's been, the same guy. Everyone thought about, of his age and he's dropping down. He's not. He's, from 2019 to 2021, he's the same guy.
Yeah, except for the 1 year that he was hurt, his production is relatively the same. And listen, man, I know he said he wants to be on, get a lot of snap counts or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's not going to happen here in Buffalo. That's not what McDermott and Frazier do. They're going to limit. He's not going to be super limited, but
he's going to come off the field more. He'll probably end up around 700 snaps this year.
Exactly.
650 to 700 is probably where
he is going to be. What the Rams kind of used them to do, which is here comes the playoffs. Here we go.
Crank him up.
Right.
Early. They'll put him on a pitch count early.
Exactly.
To make sure he makes it through the season. He'll probably be on a pitch count earlier in the games as well. And in the fourth quarter, you'll see him more than you would see him earlier.
Exactly. Late in the games, when the game's on the line, when we need him most, Von Miller will be there. You will not be seeing him
rotating out.
Right.
Very much.
In a tight game in the fourth quarter. It's just not going to happen. And to Mikey's point, when we talked about the Von Miller signing months ago, this is great for all these guys that we're about to talk about, including the defensive line when we go to that on next slide, when we're done with this slide. Everybody except for maybe a couple of these, like a Shaq Lawson, who's been around the game a little bit, even though he can learn a little bit from Von Miller. I'm not saying he can't, but I'm more talking about the Gregory Rousseaus, the AJ Epinezas, the Boogie Bashams. These guys are going to excel with Von Miller. They're going to learn a lot. They're going to play a lot better. He's going to get them playing to a higher level, in my opinion, right? And they're going to want to feed off his energy. So he brings a lot to this team, a lot to the table, than what he does just being him, right? Like as far as an impact player, he brings a lot more than that. He brings he's almost like a teacher in there, right? Even though he's a player, which is, man, that's why I love the signing, because he's more than just a player. He's a kind of a coach and a player, who's won 2 Super Bowls. We have nobody who's on this team, Mikey. That's now that I think about it, that has a Super Bowl ring right now, except for Von Miller. I'm just thinking, is there a player? Am I missing somebody?
A Super Bowl ring?
Yeah, who's a Super Bowl champion that's on this team? It could be offense, defense.
I don't think from a player standpoint, other than Von Miller.
All right, I'm talking about a player in the locker room that's been there, done that.
Only Vaughn. We have coaches, because I know Cromer got one, in his stops.
Because I know last year was Sanders, right? Sanders was the guy.
Yeah. So this year it's Von Miller. Yeah.
This year it's Vaughn, right? Okay.
OJ Howard. OJ Howard got one with.
Okay, OJ Howard, but I'll take Von Miller's more advice than OJ Howard.
Yeah. I'm just saying, OJ Howard.
But you're right. You are right. You are right.
But there isn't there. Oh, and no, because Dinich. Mitch didn't win it. He
KC,
left
right?
the
No,
year after.
Right.
They won it the year after. He lost
Right.
to New England in that
Patriots,
playoff game.
right? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, then the year after they won it. So
Correct.
no, Daniel, no. Morris was gone the year they won it. That was the first year in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
you're
so then we'll move on to on the other side. So Vaughn will handle one side. We have Gregory Rousseau who's going to handle the other side. Last year he had 514 snaps. He had 46 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 6 QB hits, and 30 pressures. He came on early and late. He had a lull in the middle of the year. He had a good rookie season overall.
Oh, dude, Gregory Rousseau.
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
For
first of all,
pick 30. For pick 30,
all,
he had a good.
He was
good
exactly
rookie year.
He's a rookie that only played 1 year in college. Who wasn't even an edge in high school. He was I think a tight end or wide receiver, who also played basketball, I believe. And then Miami put him to edge. He played his redshirt year. He had like 15 and a half sacks, missed the second. So he only had 1 year of experience. We drafted him. He started right away, which, listen, guys, it was just, that's wild. And he made some impact plays. That KC interception, that was unbelievable. And that shows you his length to get that, tip ball, the interception. And there was plays that he stopped running back. So I was like, man, dude, that was impressive because
he was a better run defender than I expected.
Yeah, bro. He's just listen. And if you guys saw his press conference, the one he did in OTAs, he's got about 8 pounds of more muscle. Like he's looking pretty.
He's still growing into that big body.
Yeah, dude.
Because he was a safety in high school. That's crazy.
He was 200 pounds going into Miami. Miami
he was like 6'5" at the time.
Yeah,
and 200 pounds, and then he grew 2 more inches and put on about 80 pounds.
Yeah, Miami got him up there in weight.
Yeah.
Carl coming in, he predicted Von Miller will be double team and not getting home as much as you want, but the rest of the line, Oliver and company, will learn from him and will feast on the quarterbacks. Things fine. I agree, but I still think he's going to get. If he plays a complete double digit, if he plays a complete season, I'm going to go around to what he's been doing around that 9 to 10 sack season.
I would say between 8 and 10.
Okay, that's fair. Between 8 and 10, and I do think you will see guys like Ed Oliver, Gregory Rousseau,
Daquan Jones, Tim Settle, Jordan
I think
Phillips,
all these guys' numbers,
yes,
they will all feast because it's not just the edge. We got like he just said, Jordan Phillips, who was our leading sack guy.
He had 9 when he last time he was here, 9.5.
Right. So, I mean, what's that tell you? And he's not like he's old, out of shape Jordan Phillips. Like, he knows this defense. He's ready to play. Shaq Lawson can get to the quarterback. We know what he can do. So, Boogie Basham, right? He's going into year 2. AJ Epinesa, hopefully he can figure out what is going on there, and he can get to the quarterback, which we all thought he was going to last year. But
he had a lot of pressure. He just didn't finish.
Yeah, 100%. So I think everybody is going to thrive when you got a guy like Von Miller. And then the scary thing is if Gregory Rousseau improves coming out of the other side, man, Mikey, watch out, because then where does the quarterback go? He has nowhere else to go but the middle.
Can't go up the middle, and you got guys screaming off the edge.
Right. So it's guys, and not to mention our linebackers are sitting around there. So
and we have an elite secondary. Right. So this defense could get better this year than it has been an entire time. Because we've been having a top flight defense with no front 7 help, really.
Oh, dude, it's going to be scary good, man, guys. I'm telling you right
Jason,
now.
I like that. 13 Jason.
Sacks.
Oliver with 9.
Yeah, listen, Oliver's also on like a contract kind of year coming up soon too. He has 2 years left.
He has this year and then his 5th year option next year.
Yeah. Which I believe they'll pick up, by the way, and then they'll give him.
They've already picked up his 5th year option.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So then we're going to move down. So Gregory Rousseau had a fantastic year, and I expect a bigger season from him. He's grown into his body. He understands the game a little more. And him, So Rousseau, Epinesa, and Basham all went to Vaughn's pass rushing camp this year.
Yep. I heard.
So that all three of them were there, learning early, and then they're going to spend all off season with him and training camp, picking up all the little things, plus all the attention he brings leaves them in one-on-one battles. So
yeah, that's what I mean. So
I expect a big
luck.
season. I expect a big season from Rousseau. I have a feeling. I have a feeling he has a chance to be the steal of that draft.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he has such a high ceiling. We said that coming out. Like his ceiling.
He was all prospect.
Yeah, that's what Brandon Beane loves, though. A lot of his draft picks are one of these high. They're all kind of Yes, like Josh Allen was a high ceiling kind of player, right?
Edmonds even though he hasn't hit the highest of his ceiling yet. But
exactly.
He was
even
all
Cody Ford kind of was a high ceiling, right?
Yep.
He just hasn't gotten there yet, and we'll see. Maybe it's a low ceiling.
Spencer Brown, high ceiling.
Yes, Spencer Brown. I totally forgot about him. Another guy that has little experience in that position. I think he was a basketball player, tight end in college.
Tight end. He was tight end and 8-man football.
Yeah. So, for him, but they saw the athleticism and the ceiling and said, man, what, like, look at this.
We got coaches. We got coaches who can mold this guy.
Right. So now imagine this, Mikey. So I would say he had a okay season, right? Spencer Brown, like he showed flashes.
Yeah.
But mind you, he was with Bobby Johnson, right? Now he's with the guy who knows his stuff in Cromer, who's going to teach him the right ways, I think. Get him on like a little bit better of a track. And then he's also going against a better D-line that's going to that he has to go against in camp, right? So he's going to learn a lot, right? On both sides. So it's a good thing. Good thing.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Iron sharpens iron, right? So we'll dig into AJ Epinesa. He had 220 snaps. He had 14 tackles, 2 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 8 QB hits, and 22 pressures. If you look, he had a 10% pressure rate off of the number of snaps he played. That's really good. The problem is he's just so inconsistent. That's what they want from him. He has the talent. He's shown the flashes of what he can do. They just need him to put it together and be consistent. And then we go down to Boogie Basham, who didn't start early in the year but played late. He had 198 snaps. He had 15 tackles, 3 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 0 QB hits, but he had 11 pressures. You saw him take most of his from the DN spot. He also was out of shape last year, and he dropped weight this year. So he's thinned down to play that DN role. Like they were talking about using him as the combo and sliding him inside. But with what we got on the inside now, they had him drop weight and should be a true D end. I see a bigger year out of Boogie Basham coming this year.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think his ceiling's as high as a Gregory Rousseau.
It's not.
But I still think he could be productive. I still think he could be productive for this team, and why not?
So
yeah,
I can see him being a DN3 rotation guy that comes in and gives you, 5 or 6 sacks, 25, 30 pressures a year, on part-time snaps, on those limited snaps.
Yep.
The way we like to keep people fresh, I can see him doing that. And then we have Shaq Lawson. Old reliable Shaq Lawson. Last year he had 527 snaps.
Shaq is back.
He had 22 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 QB hits, and 17 pressures. That was between multiple teams and not good teams.
Right.
In 2020, he was with Miami. This was more of the Shaq that we knew. He had 554 snaps. He had 28 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 15 QB hits, and 39 pressures. That's the Shaq that I think we're going to see again this year.
Yeah. And those aren't bad numbers at all.
And that's with, when he was with Miami, he was like the 3rd option on the D line. And in Buffalo, he's going to be like the 5th option. So he's going to get a lot of one-on-ones. I can see him being DN3.
Yeah. And he's very familiar with with Leslie Frazier's defense, Sean McDermott.
And the guys.
Yeah. He's not going to be lost or anything on what they expect from
He's
him.
Consistent.
Yep.
And then on the bubble, we have Mike Love, who's been 4 years on the practice squad. Then we have Kinsley Jonathan, rookie UDFA out of Syracuse, who has an offer with the WWE currently. So if he doesn't make the practice squad. He'll probably go to WWE.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Daniel Joseph, a rookie UDFA out of North Carolina State. So our DN room is probably going to be these 5 guys: Miller, Rousseau, Epinesa, Basham, and Lawson. I can see us keeping those 5. I think we're going to keep 9 O linemen and 9 D linemen.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that one.
So then our defensive tackles, this is our last group for tonight.
Yep.
We start with Ed Oliver. He had 622 snaps, the most snaps he's had in his career in a season. He had 38 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 11 QB hits, and 40 pressures. So if you look at his 2020 to 2021 production, you see the growth.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what you're looking for.
100%.
Then we have Daquan Jones, our new 1 tech, taking over for Star.
Great pickup.
And Vernon Butler. Yep. I love this pickup. He had 637 snaps last year. He had 37 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 6 QB hits, and 23 pressures. He played on the number 2 ranked defense in Carolina last year with other guys like he's going to play this year. I foresee him having a big impact to our D line. Then we have Mr. Tim Settle in 2021.
Another great pick.
Young guy. Well. He's a young guy too. Daquan's is more the veteran. Settle is the young guy. He had 200 snaps last year, 12 tackles, no sacks, no forced fumbles, no hits, 10 pressures, but he didn't play very much.
Washington fans are pissed, by the way, that he left. They love this guy. Yeah.
In 2020, he had 347. He got more field time. He had 15 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 QB hits, and 18 pressures. So you see, the more time he gets on the field, he was just buried behind all our elite D linemen. A couple of them were all pros, a couple of them were Pro Bowlers. He was buried behind the elite D linemen there in Washington. I'm excited about having him. And then Jordan Phillips, Mr. Reliable's coming home. He had 277 snaps last year, 16 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 hits, 15 pressures, but he played 1 tech for them and nose.
Yeah, he had a couple seasons he was hurt. That kind of derailed him a little bit, but
that's why his snaps were so low.
Yeah, I will say this though, he's coming back to Buffalo, where we got one of the best facilities, we got one of the best staff. That's why a lot of players here
and the rotation. And the rotation.
But we have a lot of players that come here with injuries too, and they don't really have ongoing it.
No, it's that performance center that we have. Like they don't have to go outside to do anything. They have everything in house.
So we relatively have healthy players, even guys that are coming that are concerns or whatever. They were hurt the last 2 or 3 years. They generally stay pretty healthy when they come to Buffalo. We haven't had, knock on wood,
we've had the least amount of missed games in the last 3 years. They did a stat. I love that, Jason. Yeah, 47 sacks. I would like to see more than 47 sacks. I would like to see us pushing, high 50s, low 60s.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
With these guys, I can see, with the 9 guys we have, everybody gets 5 or 6. A couple of them get, 8 to 10. We're pushing that. 9 guys at 5, at 6 apiece.
Yeah. I agree.
You're pushing 50. So then on the bubble, we have Eli Enku, who was a practice squatter and played a little bit last year. Brandon Bryant, who was a practice squad and played a little bit last year.
Brandon Bryant seems like he's been here forever. I don't know why.
And then we have Prince Emili, rookie UDFA out of Penn, who is, who I have a feeling is going to be the new camp underdog that everyone loves. He's a high mower guy like Justin Zimmer was. And then we have CJ Brewer, rookie UDFA out of Coastal Carolina. And that covers our D line. I have a feeling we're going to keep 9. We're going to keep 5 DNs and our 4 D tackles. That's why I have them all pictured. And then I think we'll have some of these other guys on the bubble who are going to be on our practice squad. In case any injuries, we can call them up.
Very good. And there you go, folks. See, Mikey does such a great job. Mikey. I wish I had like a clap button for you, man. Carl coming in. This defense was rated number 1 last year. So why does it appear that we got so much better defensively? 2022 Buffalo Bills could be one of the all-time scariest teams in NFL history on both sides of the ball. We can be, because last year our defense was ranked number 1. Our offense, I believe we were in the top 5. 3. Okay, we were number 3, exactly. So why couldn't we be number 1 on both sides? There are injuries. That's it. I mean, other than that, we should. Yes, I agree. The defense, the only thing I could say last year, if we want to not pump the brakes, but the schedule, was a little easier than what we got this year. Some of those teams weren't, what we have on our schedule this year. However, we did improve. So we guys got, like I said, Von Miller, right? We got a different offensive line coach in Cromer. So, and then we added the main thing on defense. We added weight. We added guys that are much bigger on the line now. That could stop the run, clog up the holes, right? Not get bullied around by offensive line. That's where we kind of, we had like a bend don't break kind of defense last year. We played a lot of soft zone. And what happens is it hurt us in some games, right? Where it just wasn't going to work, right? The Colts game, right? For instance, at home, right? That soft defensive line was getting bullied around, right? Even our offensive line, right? Yeah. So those games are the ones that we won't see this year. Not what I believe. So that's where we will improve, right? The Kansas City game, 13 seconds to go. We're not going to play the soft zone defense. Like Von Miller's going to be in there, and he's going to be causing havoc when the game's on the line. Also, we didn't have a Kyer Elam last year when Trey went out. That's going to improve. So there's a lot to add to this defense that we didn't have last year. That's going to make this defense, I believe, number 1 in the NFL. And the offense, why can't we?
It got better.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we got better. We had the number 1 defense last year, and we got better. It's insane, and we got a lot better. Like our front 7 is a lot better now. Adding Daquan Jones, adding Tim Settle, adding Jordan Phillips back, adding Shaq Lawson back. Those are all guys that are going to come in and that are solid NFL guys that are going to help. That replace the useless Vernon Butlers. Who didn't? Right. Who was just here contract. And Starr, who was never healthy.
Yes, Dallas. That is correct. Poyer.
Yes, he is reporting. Yep.
It's a mandatory.
And to answer your question from earlier, Tommy, Devin Singletary had 188 carries last year.
Okay, 188. Yeah. So still lower than some of the top running backs in the league.
Yeah.
And he
had 188 for 870 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. And he was
averaged
4.7? 4.6. Okay. Yeah. Okay, which still isn't bad compared. You guys got to remember too, taking factor the terrible offensive line, right? That he was dealing with for most of the season.
Here's a stat for you that you'll like. He had 3.12 yards after contact, and he had 20 explosive runs of 10 plus more yards.
Speaking of Devin Singletary, who wants to win a Devin Singletary rookie autograph card?
Patch, right?
Yeah, jumbo patch. So if you guys want to win that, I could put your name real quick on the little spinner board. Let me know. I'll give you guys a second.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's just run through and add whoever commented.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let's see if I can do it here. Mike is usually the one that knows this stuff better than me, but I'll do it. Mikey, keep the audience going here. So we got what? Who do we got in their room? Because I can't see right now. You got Dallas.
So we have Jance.
Oh, Jance is still there?
Well, I don't know if he's still there, but we
I
had
haven't seen
earlier.
Him.
Oh, so you're just doing who's still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
So we got Bills fan 1970. We got Jason N. We got Dallas. We got Brandon.
All right,
we got Carl.
So Brandon, Carl, okay. All right. Who else?
So,
Scotty.
Yeah, I saw Scotty earlier.
All right, I'll still put his name. Why not?
Yep. Jack.
Who else?
Jack.
Yeah, got my buddy. All right. Who else?
So I don't know. Did you get everybody? So we have Jason.
I got Dallas, Bills fan, Brandon, Carl, Scotty, and Jack so far.
Jason in.
Jason. Oh, that's right. Jason. Okay. Jason N. All right. Who else am I missing?
So got Daniel Garies, got Brandon, you got Dallas, you got Jason, you got Bills fan, you got Jack, you got Scotty.
Right.
Is there anybody else I'm missing here? I think that
All right. So let's see. Let me.
Mike Ferreira.
Oh, Mike. All right.
Yep.
All right,
don't forget Mike.
Let me add Mike. I'll put Mike F.
Yep.
Oops. I put.
You can just put Mike because there's only one Mike in there.
Okay, only one Mike in there. All right,
yep.
Mike. Okay. All right. So that's it. All right. So let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So, and guys, I'll do this next week on a Josh Allen rookie too.
Yeah. So come join us next week.
And I'll ship it. I'll ship it for free, by the way, guys. So just
after
hit me up on Twitter. Whoever wins, hit me out on Twitter.
If you don't have a Twitter, Tommy will post his email.
Oh yeah, I'll put it
in the comment sections of this video, in the description of this video. So just shoot him an email and he'll get your address and send it out to you guys.
Exactly. All right, are we ready? Here we go.
Hey, hit the button.
Yep. That's a long spin.
Wow, yeah, it is.
I don't know what it's slowing down, guys. I don't know who it is. I don't know what's happening.
What is going on?
Oh, it's Brandon.
Brandon wins.
Brandon. So he just got in here.
So do this. See that? Say hide choice.
What do I do?
See where it says hide choice right there?
Yeah. Hit hide choice.
Yep. Hit hide choice, and then Brandon will be removed from the next spin.
Okay.
For the next card.
So we got one more card, guys. So Brandon, congratulations.
Oh, and we got Charlotte in the house too.
Charlotte. Oh man. All right. So we'll add one more. Charlotte in the house. I should get one more. I should get one more card.
Yeah.
CH. Hold on.
SHARLA.
Say it again. CHAR.
No, S is in Sam.
Oh, it's S. Okay.
SHARLA.
Oh, Charla. SHARL.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So
hit the spin. What's the next one?
Hold on. So they can see the card here. So if you guys can see it right. So that is Gabe Davis rookie card, Gabriel Davis mosaic. By the way, guys, I keep all my cards in good condition, great condition. So
you keep them in plastics and stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Hard plastics.
I'm picky about my cards, guys. So here we go. All right. Jason gets a Gabriel Davis rookie card. Should I do one more?
Do one more.
Do one more. All right, hold on.
Do one more.
All right, talk to him, Mikey. Talk to him.
Yeah, I'll go grab one more and we'll do this. And then next week we'll do this again. And then this season we'll have other prizes throughout our shows that will be given away. We'll probably get some jerseys and some hats and some random stuff that we can give out to you guys. We appreciate you guys coming and riding with us. It's a lot of fun to sit here and talk Bills and talk to you guys and answer your questions out in the chat. It's a fun time. I do this for fun. Sit down and talk Bills football.
You guys, this is a good one.
All right, what do we got?
You got a 1989 Thurman Thomas score rookie card. So this is, by the way, the best set in 1989. This is Thurman Thomas rookie card score. Right. It's a dope card, guys. So,
all right, so let's do it. Hit the spin.
All right, here we go.
Hit the spin.
Hit the spin. Who's going the Thurman Thomas rookie?
And the final winner of tonight is
Mike.
So hit Tommy up if you're on Twitter. Hit him at Tommy Talks Bills. If you're not on Twitter, you'll find his email in the description. Shoot him an email. He'll get your address.
Yeah, I'll put it on the
send this
description
out
later.
to you. And again, come back next week. Do the same thing. Stay to the end of the show. We'll add your name, and we'll run into more. And Tommy, what I was telling them is this season, I'll get some more stuff, and we'll do more prizes throughout the year for our shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Do giveaways, just fun stuff. We appreciate them coming and riding with us.
Yeah, you guys, I just thought of it today because I have a huge card collection. I'm like, you know what? I'll get rid of some of these cool cards I got, but next week I have a Josh Allen rookie, so come in next week.
Okay,
yeah, Josh Allen rookie card, so that's a good one. All right, guys, it was a great show. Once again, I appreciate everybody. Jason, Brandon, Bills fan 1970, Dallas. Oh no, it's not rigged, man. Hey, you got winners. Listen, next week.
Yeah, there's more next week.
Yeah, Josh Allen. I have another Devin Singletary autograph patch card. I got a base Devin Singletary rookie card still.
I think I have like a Trent Edwards rookie card that you can send out too, even though no one's gonna want it. They're just gonna want to use it for fire.
Set it on fire. Right? But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for hopping on. Did I miss any questions? What's the one? Here we go. What's the one game you guys plan on going to? Okay, so I'm from Michigan. I'm 4 hours away. Mikey's a little different. He is like hours and hours.
I'm a day away. I live in Northern California. I'm not sure what game I'll be going to. I'm looking to go to one this year though. As it gets a little bit closer, me and Tommy will talk and figure out what the best time is.
Oh, okay. Charlotte, we start Mondays at 9:00. So every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, we go live. And then when the preseason starts, me and Mikey, we have a show on Mondays at 9 here. And then we have another show on Fridays at 7:30. Is that correct, Mikey? 7:30?
Yeah, 7:30.
Okay, 7:30 Eastern time on Fridays as well. And then we might have some other stuff in the plans and the works, but just follow us on Twitter. You see Apex006 and I'm Tommy Talks Bills, and we always update like if we're changing times around or days or whatever. But right now, Mondays at 9 up until regular season, then we might have a couple other shows planned.
And then keep your eyes out this week for the fan base trailer that's going to drop. Tommy and I are going to be we have one more show in this position breakdown series. We have the linebackers, secondary, and specialists. And then we're going to jump into a new series that will be a new trailer will be coming out later this week from fan base, and we're super excited about it.
Yep. So once again, I appreciate everybody for coming in. Jack, Dallas, like I said, everybody, man. Stop by again. Watch us every Monday at 9:00, and we love you. And let's hit the best outro on any content Buffalo Bills channel. Bills, maybe you want to shout. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Peace.